As you guys come on in, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know what city and state that you are chiming in from. And I'm so excited because we have a training that we're going to be sharing today that I promise you is going to be so fire. So go ahead and put your city and state. Okay, looks like we're live in all the on all of the platforms. So just to kind of let you guys know where we are streaming from, we're streaming right now on Facebook within our Facebook group, Book to Speak. We're also streaming on my personal page, Facebook page and my business page. We're streaming on LinkedIn. We're streaming on Instagram. We're streaming on YouTube and more. All right. So no matter where you're chiming in from, go ahead and drop your city and state in the chat. Let me go ahead and pin this in the Facebook group as well. And for those who are watching within the Facebook group, I'm gonna shout you guys out. Hello, Regina Martin. Hello, Regina. How are you? All righty. So, unfortunately, because Facebook has given us some limitations, I can't put the Facebook comments on the screen, but I can still see you guys in the chat and shout you guys out. So, hello, Regina, and everybody else as you guys are coming on in. So, listen, this is our Thursday call, webinar, broadcast. This is just an opportunity for us to connect with all of our fellow authors, speakers, and coaches. Also, what is so exciting is that every single Thursday, we allow our Book Profits Club members the opportunity to get on to introduce themselves. On average, these videos typically have about 1,000 combined replays. So it's an opportunity for amazing exposure. One of the ways of how we are offering the opportunity of exposure with our Book Profits Club members. But let me tell you something, they are doing some tremendous things. So I'm going to bring on one of our BPC members today that's going to be sharing with you guys what it is that she does. And before I do, let me just shout out some of you guys in the chat. So we've got, let's see, we have Sharif Miller. Hello, Sharif. How you doing? Craig Samuels. How are you doing, Craig Samuels? And so definitely, guys, as you come on in, go ahead and let us know what city and state and all that good stuff that you're chiming in from. So let me bring on the young lady who's going to be introducing herself and letting you guys know how you can get in contact with her. None other than our BPC Speakers Elite, Carrie Clark Pearson. Let's bring her on. Hey, Carrie.
Hello. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you, darling. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away. Let us know what it is that you do and how we can get in touch with you.
Absolutely. My name is Carrie Clark Pearson, and I empower HBCU students and young professionals to discover and achieve their passion on purpose to become future leaders in the workplace. And to learn more or to speak with me, please reach me at www.achievewithpurpose.org.
Absolutely. So www.achievewithpurpose.org. So just to kind of give everybody a little bit of an understanding, because the intro statement is amazing. Right now, you're doing some incredible things with students. So what specifically or generally is the challenge that many of the people that are the clients, your students that are having, and how you're helping them? So like, what are you doing like now? I would just say even with the project that you're working on currently.
Yeah, so it's a combination of you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you should be researching, what you need to get prepared and ready for finding that job, for getting, and once you get the job, what do you do then? How do you make sure that you're prepared to be in the workplace? You can find that mentor, that sponsor, someone that can help connect you and take those next steps in. So really just taking a step back and understanding what their needs are, making sure they're set up and that those soft skills are there to help them. It's a journey.
Well, listen, that was good, guys. Let me tell you something. I know both of us went to Hampton University. I know our homecoming is coming up this month. I was planning to go. I don't know. Are you going?
I'm trying. We'll see. I'm trying though.
I don't know. Well, listen, I'm so happy that you're there because I remember what it was like, just first of all, going into college and we don't really have classes or information on developing those skill sets. And then even transitioning out of college, like I think I was telling you about my first interview. I had no idea what I was doing. I just was giggling. That was a mess. I didn't get the job. But I love all the stuff that you have going on with your students. And so let's give it up for Carrie. Again, your website, achievewithpurpose.org. When they go to the website, what are they going to receive?
You'll get two things. One is an ebook, and it'll tell you more about how to network. What are the ways to utilize your resources, right? And a lot of times when you do have those resources, when do you use them? Making sure you're seizing the right opportunities at that moment to help get you to that next level.
Love it. And you said two things. What's the second thing you got?
The second thing is just looking at that next step, right? When you think about what you want to do, I just want you to first think about what your definition of success is, what you see yourself enjoying doing, and then finding that passion and getting the money to pay to do that.
I love it. Well, y'all, if you or anyone you know has anyone that is in college or going to college and want to be positioned for success, make sure, even if you are a parent, you got some children who you know are going to go to college, you want to go ahead and have them plug in achievewithpurpose.org. Carrie, thank you so much for being here.
You.
Awesome. Well, listen to Carrie Clark Pearson, my fellow Hamptonian sister. Y'all go to achievewithpurpose.org. Make sure that you plug in there. And shout out to Tavonda out of Houston, Texas, Dr. Janelle out of Dr. Regina Beard. Okay. Oh, I think she tagged somebody here. I think that's what that was. Thank you so much for the tag. Let's see here. Destiny Brown. Hello, Destiny Brown. And then I think I saw, hold on one sec. Because Facebook ain't showing no comments, I don't think. Not even on my personal page. It don't look like, nope. So I sent some people on the personal page. We have Ketia. Hey, what's going on, girl? How you doing? And so Ketia Green out there. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on LinkedIn, we're streaming on LinkedIn as well. Or if you're watching on, what else would I say? LinkedIn or Instagram. So I know we're also on Instagram right now. So shout out to everybody that is watching us. So let's go ahead and get into the training. So today, everybody, go ahead and type today in the chat. Everybody type today in the chat. Today, we're going to be training on doing free events. Okay? Listen to me when I tell you, Linda, I built my entire coaching business off of doing free events, okay? Free workshops that lead into opportunity. In fact, I learned this technique from being in the network marketing industry. That's all we did. We did free workshops almost every day, whether it was in somebody's house or it was in a hotel room or it was at a luncheon space. We were doing events every single day, right? Yeah. And so we were doing events every day. I mean, literally every day. Now, when I decided to transition out of multi-level marketing, I still wanted to keep that momentum going with how I built my home-based business by doing workshops. And the reason why I love workshops, and honestly, guys, I'm going to be transparent. Webinars are great, right? Webinars are great, but there is just something about being able to get people out to a workshop. Now, granted, depending upon what market where you live, it may be different, but I will tell you this. I went on a tour. Not that I recommend you do that, but I traveled in multiple states from, let me think, New York, New Jersey, Maryland. I don't know if I did Virginia, but Virginia still was great. North Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. I was like all down the East Coast to the South, Texas. I traveled to multiple states doing these free workshops, and this allowed me to build a multiple six-figure coaching business. Think about it. God gave us the sense of touch, right? Being virtual is great, but there's a reason why we have that sense, right? Now, I'm not saying when you do your workshops, you should be touching and hugging on everybody, but being in environments with people, it does create more opportunities for you to make more money. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here so that you guys can see this presentation. Hold on. Let's see here. Share screen. Share screen. On. There we go. Okay, so hopefully everybody should be able to see the screen here. I hope you guys are excited about this. So we're going to be talking about six tips to sell at free workshops and how to turn your free events into profit machines. So this is for all of my speakers. By the way, for every single one of you guys that are speakers that are watching right now, I want you guys to know you do not have to wait for somebody to host an event and offer you a chance to speak on their stage for you to be a paid speaker. You can do your own events and get paid all the money you want. Okay. You can do your own event and get paid all the money you want. My very first workshop I did, 61 people showed up. Y'all, I made $2,500 from that event and I was sold. Okay. So let's get into this. So, first of all, what is a free workshop? So typically a free workshop, and I'm not going to go into like, I'm pretty sure y'all know what I mean when I say free workshop, right? But it's generally going to be 2 to 4 hours, and you'll have two different ticket types. You'll have a general admission ticket and you'll have a VIP ticket. So let's just say you're doing a free workshop and let's say the space hosts or sits 30 people. Okay. If it sits 30 people, you're going to need to have about 90 registrations. You've guessed it, for free general admission. 3 times the registration on average. Why? Because statistics never lie, guys. Statistics never lie. The number of people who actually are going out and achieving success and showing up for success, those numbers never change. And so you'll have a lot of people that will register for an event. Think about it. You might have done it yourself. No disrespect, right? You've probably gotten into the phase of now registering and showing up, but we don't think about that when we register. It's a free event. So, I'll just sign up for free. And if I can go, I can go. If not, not. Right. And so when you registered for the event and you didn't show up, guess what? Well, hopefully that person took into account. A lot of times when people are just getting started with doing workshops, they'll say, oh, I got 20 registrations. I'm expecting 20 people. And the truth is, guys, is that if you have 20 registrations, on average, about 4 to 5 people may show up. Okay. So you have to have about 3 times the registration. Now, if you guys would like to know how to follow up with those registrations, I want you to just go ahead in the chat and say, I do. If you would like to know how to follow up with those registrations, I want you to go ahead and put I do in the chat, because I got a gift for you guys. Okay. I do. I have a gift for you guys. All right. So just go ahead and put that in the chat and let me know. I do. Okay. You guys want to know? Okay, perfect. Because the fortune, if you've never heard the saying, guys, the fortune is in the follow-up. The fortune absolutely is in the follow-up. And so if you have an event, especially when people are registering for free, you got to follow up. Okay. And so these are going to be some techniques that I'm going to show you guys of what it is that you actually want to do so that you can guarantee some success. Okay. So we'll talk about that in a minute. I got a gift for you. Now, how to do a free workshop. So these, I'm going to go into these tips right here that you guys see, the 6 tips. Tease the information. Tease the transformation. Everybody type this in the chat. Transformation creates transactions. Guys, people are not paying to be wooed. People are not paying to just say, wow. People literally want a transformation. That's what people will spend money on. And so when you want to be able to charge for something, you have to have a plain, clear picture. I don't know if I'm having challenges with my words or what. I don't know what's going on. But a plain, clear picture on what the transformation is. And I can't tell you how many times I see people that are they're not being clear on how they're serving people. Okay. And so it's very important that you remember that people pay for transformation. We'll go more into that, right? Solve a small problem. Remember, people invest in solutions. Build trust early. Remember the know, like, and trust factor. And I also like to add in relatability. Create a sense of urgency. FOMO, fear of missing out. Nobody wants to miss out on opportunity. I see you, Destiny. I see you, Sharif, in the chat. I see you, Katia, in the chat. I see you guys in the chat. Thank you so much for participating. Make it easy to buy. A confused mind does nothing. Oh, I skipped over one. And use Q&A to lead to your offer. When you get people, I want y'all to know this. when you get people asking you questions, that means they're interested. When you get people asking you questions, that actually means they're interested. So you want people to be asking questions. Now, there's a skill set in that as well, because, baby, if you have not practiced that skill of getting people to ask questions as well, right? Listen to me. If you haven't practiced the skill set, what can happen sometimes is if you haven't practiced and you ask people if they have questions and nobody does, it could literally kill the whole vibe. So you want to make sure that you know how to do that too. Okay. So we're going to talk more about, I got a gift for you. Don't worry about it. Now let's get into this. So tease the transformation. So you got to show them what's possible. So what you must understand is that when somebody comes to a workshop, they're looking for a specific result. Let me give you an example. When I first started doing my book writing events years ago, I actually started them off calling them the Show Your Success Workshop. Okay. Now, the challenge with that is not that it's a problem. That was my company name, is my company name. We still have that as a DBA. But the challenge was that people didn't know what I was talking about, like success in what? Success in in business, success in marriage, success in relationships. Nobody really knew what the success was in. And so because of that, while yes, I had people that were registering, they didn't really know what they were coming for. And so because of that, guess what was happening, y'all? People were coming for any kind of rhyme or reason, but you guessed it, it was like I wasn't getting any kind of real success as far as people enrolling to my program. So I had to be very specific. So when I changed the title of my workshop from Show Your Success to How to Write a Book in 30 days, now everybody that was there was specifically there for the possibility of becoming an author. Does that make sense? They were there for the possibility of becoming an author. So then I realized after that, by the way, everything that I'm teaching you so you don't have to make these errors and spend thousands and thousands of dollars, because that's what I did. I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of money making mistakes doing these events. Okay. So anyways, let me get into it. So what I did was I then changed it to write a book in 30 days. But then I had anybody coming. Now, I don't do all genres of books, or at the time, I didn't do all genres of books. I only did the genre of book for self-help, and specifically for speakers and coaches who wanted to use their book as a tool, right? Does that make sense? So I had a very target audience. I still do, okay? I still have a very target audience. Everybody is not my audience. I am not trying to serve the whole world. All I need is my specific audience, and that is how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Okay. So it's very important that you understand that, right? So what I was doing was having any and everybody there that wanted to write a book, and I wasn't getting the type of results I wanted. So then I changed it to How to Write a Book to Grow Your Business. Now I had entrepreneurs that were showing up to the workshop, very specific, and I was able to then show them why writing a book in a self-help space could help them grow their business. So now I was giving them the possibilities of where they could go. At the same time, I was also able to show them specific results, not just from the clients I've worked with, but also just showing them how they can turn their book into multiple streams. And I created a solution with a paid offer, right? And so this allowed me to kill at workshops because I was so niched. Think about it. I was so niched that by the time people made a decision that it was good for them or not, like when they got to the workshop, not by the time, when they got to the workshop, and I was very specific, people were ready to invest. These are people who I had never met, ready to spend $5,000 to $7,000 at this workshop. Okay. So build trust early. So when you are doing your workshop, there is a training that we actually teach our Book Profits Club members that are Speakers Elite of how to do an entire webinar talk, right? when you're doing a workshop talk, it is so important that you want to build trust immediately by sharing your story to connect with the audience up front. Okay. So you want to be able to share with them. So what did I do when we first got started? I didn't go into my whole life story. I told you a little bit about what I had done as far as to build my workshops. I did what we call in the public speaking world, ETR, also known as earn the right. I earned the right to talk to you guys about doing workshops by sharing with you my journey. So what did that do? For those who are still watching, it built trust. It built trust. Hello, Millie Marie, right? It built trust. And so building trust, especially today, is critical. Okay. Also, be relatable and authentic. So if you guys have ever seen me speak, whether it's online, whether it's at a live event, I never show up as anybody else but myself. Like, I was doing a strategy session called today with Destiny Brown, and I was showing her a video that were my new masterclass video. And I was showing her how in the video, like something got on my nose, right? And I have allergies. And so a lot of times, by the way, how many of you guys have allergies? Watch this. So I have allergies, right? I got allergies pretty bad. And they just like developed as you get, I don't know, I guess as you get older, y'all, you start developing all this new stuff. So I'm in the video wiping my nose and I'm doing like this and I'm telling them like, oops, excuse me, y'all, my nose itching. Guess why I didn't cut that out? Not just because I want to just show myself being silly and scratching my nose because my nose is itching, but I know there's other people who got allergies. And so instead of trying to be perfect, because nobody is, I make myself relatable, right? And so that also builds trust. When people feel like, oh my goodness, I can relate to those problems too. My nose is itching me too. It builds trust, and trust leads to conversions. So never be afraid. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I can't speak like that person, or I can't do the workshop in the way that they do it. Nobody's asking for anyone to be like anyone here other than themselves. Right? And so you don't need to be like anybody. All you want to do is be like yourself. Okay. So what's exciting about that is that you can be yourself at these workshops, have a good time, and guess what? Build trust. Okay, let's get to the next one. All right. So the next one is solve a small problem. We're not asking when you do this workshop to literally transform their entire life. Okay. So let me explain to you guys on this, because I see people that will they'll say, oh, or I've seen people do this. Let's say their program had their program where you want people to invest in. Their program has 3 tips, like maybe it's a weight loss program, right? And so you teach them about how to eat, like what to eat. You teach them about the exercises, and then you also teach them about nutritional supplements. Okay. So those are your 3 topics. And then in your premium program or in your program where you're charging, right? You then do a workshop and you talk about the same exact stuff. Well, the biggest challenge with that is that a lot of times, even if you didn't really give them major value, right? So, because sometimes people will be like, but I didn't give them nothing of what's in my program. People mentally, if they hear the same thing, it doesn't make sense to them. So instead, a small problem could be, you know what? In this particular talk, I'm only going to talk about what to eat, when to eat, and why you need a coach. You see what I'm saying? So I focus on the one topic and turn that into my entire workshop. Now, I test out my workshops too. By the way, if I could tell you how many workshops I've done, I mean, when I tell you I wanted to build a 6-figure business. So when I got started, y'all, I was doing a workshop per week, 1 per week. Okay, 1 per week minimum. And I might have had 5 to 10 people showing up per workshop, but I understood that I have to test this out and create some kind of a small problem that I can create the solution for in the workshop. And then when you create that solution and you show them a solution right then and there, then guess what people will do? They will then want to invest to work with you more. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, y'all, do me a favor. Drop the money sign in the chat space. Drop that money sign if this is making sense. If this is good for you, as it is exciting for me, drop the money sign in the chat space. Let me know. Okay? So very, very, very important, guys. Very important that we understand this is how we get things done. Okay. Now, the next thing is include a limited time offer. So when I do live workshops, I will typically make an offer that is available just for the workshop. Just for the workshop. If once we leave that workshop, they can't get that offer no more. Now, I want you guys to remember this. When doing a workshop that is free, and you may have some VIP upgrades, most people, the mentality is, I'm not necessarily, and by the way, just because somebody comes and it's free does not mean that they're not willing to invest into themselves. You have just created a title for your workshop that is so engaging that they want to actually come to the event. Okay. So the better that you title your workshops, the more likely you're going to have more quality people there that are looking for that specific result. But if you have a workshop called the Breakthrough Workshop, breakthrough of what, right? Versus overcoming, like right now, it's this guy on TikTok that I follow. All he does is talk about dating a narcissist. So if you did a whole workshop, maybe you're a relationship coach and teaching women how to know if you're dating a narcissist and how to find one who is not, or something like that. Man, you're going to have a specific target audience there, right? So anyways, at the workshop, when I'm making an offer for a free event, 9 times out of 10, depending upon the energy, and this only comes through trial and error, I may not offer my highest ticket product right then and there. I might offer what we call in Book Profits Club, my core item, okay? My core item is going to be priced anywhere between $97 up to $497. Now, have I ever done a workshop where I would offer my high ticket $5,000 to $7,000 package? I have, but I want y'all to remember that was with me having done several of these. And so until you get to the space where you have done them and you're used to making those higher ticket offers in front of a live audience, I always recommend make the middle price offer, because if they invest in anything, there is a likelihood that they will upgrade to the next package. Okay. So you're going to offer a deadline that they have to get started that day until the end of the workshop, and you're going to encourage people to take action. Now, how many of you guys would like to know a really cool little trick that I do, right? Oh, my camera came out. My camera died. That's okay, y'all. Let me see if I can charge it while I'm talking. Okay, hold on one sec, y'all. I just realized it's unplugged. Y'all want to see me? All right. So if the camera don't come back on, y'all can hear me though, right? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So anyways, so back to what I was stating. So you want to make sure that you offer that limited time offer. But guess what? For those of you guys who stay and get this goodie that I got for you, I'm going to also show you what I do that gets people signing up at events, because I have learned that I told you I've been doing this for a minute. So I've truly learned what gets people to buy. And sometimes you'll be surprised that people will literally be ready to enroll as soon as you do this one trick. So just make sure that you offer the special deal, let people know that it ends that day, and guess what? You want to encourage them to take action quickly. Now, engage with Q&A. So this is what I was talking about a little bit, guys, of the Q&A of it all, right? Now, let me tell you, I'm going to go ahead and give you this gift right here. If you want to do a Q&A session at the end, you need to be engaging the audience through the entire workshop. If you only talk at the audience the entire workshop, they are less likely to ask questions at the end because they have tuned you out. No disrespect. You have to, listen to me, guys. You have to learn how to engage with your audience while doing even webinars. What am I doing with you guys? I'm engaging with you. I'm commenting with you. I'm talking to you. The reason that is important is because people want to be seen and heard. There's nothing wrong with it. So if people know that they're going to be engaged with, it keeps their attention up, but also it keeps them excited to learn more, right? I'm just telling you. So make sure during the entire webinar or workshop that you are engaging with your audience. Very, very important, okay? And then you want to make sure that your questions that, like, say they ask a question like, let's go back to the weight loss. They say, well, what if I don't, like, maybe you talk about meal prep, right? You say, what if I don't have time to actually meal prep, but I know that it's an important factor with me being able to lose weight? You say, you know what, Jane Doe or John Doe, great question. So in our program, one of the things that we actually teach you is, yes, we teach you how to meal prep with very little time, because most of our clients are busy entrepreneurs just like you. But if you do not have the time, we also have partnered with other chefs that are local in the community that will deliver your meal prepped meals to you weekly. So what did I just do? I answered the question, right, by referring back to the premium program. Now, I won't do that on every single question, but you want to make sure that you are recommending, hey, this is something that you're going to learn in the program, right? But, like, for example, let's just say, okay, well, what times should I eat my meal preps? I might answer that. That's a great question. In fact, everybody take your pen out. So I'm going to recommend that you want to eat first thing in the morning, at least 30 minutes before XYZ. And then you're going to eat at this time. And then you're going to eat at this time. Between those meals, you're going to do this. So you're giving them some actual steps. Okay. Now, then what I'm going to do is I'm then going to say, now, if you would like assistance with your meal preps, then we actually have a program available for you where we can prepare your meals for you. For those of you who just simply do not have the time, we can hook you up with that, right? So you see what I did? I answered the question, but then I still led them back to the program, okay? So that means that I must have already offered the program to keep talking about it. Yes? Not necessarily. During your entire talk, you can refer to your program as well. You don't have to wait till the end. You can mention it. Pay attention to some of the top speaker coaches, the speaker coaches out there. They've already mentioned the name of their program at the beginning of the workshop. So you want to make sure people know that there is an offer, right? All right. So the next thing is, make it easy to buy. So number one, if you're going to have someone go to a link, please don't have the link be something that is very hard to spell, that has dashes. Even if it's like you spell a word different than most people, like, I wouldn't do that. I would try to keep it as simple as possible. Also, we're going back, it's safe to say that I'm seeing a lot of ways of how I used to do workshops coming back to, like, the way we did it, right? So what I would do, this is just me, this QR code thing is hot, but what I would do is I would have an application form that I can pass out. And this is what I did, y'all, for years. I had an application form that I would pass out to everybody. And there was a reason why I did that. Okay. It has a combination of NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, but also at the same time so that I could identify who was interested. So I would pass out the application forms and they would fill out the details. Now, because we are providing opportunities, like with our BPC system, you can actually set up a QR code right through the software for free. So then what I can do is add that QR code to the application. So they fill out their information, which also provides on the other side some details about the program, and they scan the QR to make their payment. Then you can give them a copy of the application so that they can have something to hold in their hand. All you got to do, guys, is create a front and back copy of an application, where the front is where they fill out the information. The back is where you talk about the terms and the requirements and things like that. Go to Kinko's and get them to do carbon copy paper. There are some Kinko's, depending upon where you are at, that can do same day. They can actually do the carbon copy on the same exact day. And so that's where it has where you can write, and then it presses to the second page, and you give them that second page so that they can have something to take home with them. So make it very easy for people to actually purchase, right? Do not complicate it. Don't make it difficult, and don't give them multiple ways of doing it. Give them one way. So if you're going to try it this way, you have the form, they fill it out, and they scan to pay. Or you can just write out, have them scan to pay, and that's it, right? I just like the idea of having the application, because then they have something tangible to walk away with, unless you're providing a book to go along with it or something else to go along with their purchase, right? Because it's a physical event. Well, that is our training, y'all. I'm going to open it up if anybody does with the BPC have questions, if you're a BPC member. But if you're ready to turn your workshop into sales, I've got a gift for you. So we talked about teasing, building trust, solving problems, creating urgency, engaging, and simplifying. What we're going to be doing is on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be having a live session where I'm going to go into more depth of talking about like how to get people to go ahead and pay, also how to follow up with folks, all those things that you're going to need to truly equip you for success with doing your workshop, okay? But what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to go to www.iloveafreegift.com. www.iloveafreegift.com. You want to go to that so that you can actually take advantage of this awesome gift, okay? So www.iloveafreegift.com. And you're going to put on the form your name, your phone, and email, as well as who invited you. So if you're a BPC family member, make sure, Lord, let me, hold up. I'm looking at the form. If you are a Book Profits Club member, make sure, guys, to send anybody that you know that needs this information, because we'll make sure that if they do decide to join us in BPC, you would get credit, okay? So go to www.iloveafreegift.com and you will get access. You'll get the invite for this Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it will be recorded, but you want to register and really be there live if you can, so that you can ask your questions. So we'll go live on Zoom and you'll be able to ask those questions. Is that good? So hopefully that is great. If we have any questions in the chat, let me know. If not, we're going to get ready to wrap it on up. Y'all, I have done, so let me see if I can get my camera back on. So y'all, I have done so many events since being a coach. I've been a coach since 2015. I started doing events in 2009 when I was in the network marketing industry. And doing events has honestly been the best way for me to build income. Now, you don't have to do 4 events per month like I was doing. I was doing 4 to 6. But even if you can do 1 workshop per month, many of you guys will be able to solve some incredible opportunities like finances, exposure, and more. There's so many other bonus things that you can do when it comes to an event. So, and I'll just throw this additional bonus in because I don't see any questions. So one other bonus thing that you can do when you do these workshops. Oh, I'm going to also talk to you guys about how to find the free spaces or how to utilize free spaces. And at the same time, if you have to pay for a space, how to make it so that you don't come out of pocket. Because ain't nobody got time for that, right? Nobody got time to be spending no money. So very important that you want to create opportunities that don't cause you to come out of pocket, but for your pockets to increase. Okay. So one of the things we'll talk about in that webinar on Sunday will be how to find your event space and how not to come out of pocket. The second we're going to talk about is preparing for it. So the follow-up game, like how to get people to actually come. And then we will also be discussing how to get people to enroll. Okay. So make sure when you go to iloveafreegift.com that you fill out the form, even those of you guys who are watching the replay. So if you're watching the replay and it happens to be before this Sunday, which the date is going to be, hold up, October the 13th. So if you're watching this before this Sunday, October the 13th, guess what? You can still register. Make sure on the form to fill out who actually invited you, who tagged you on the video, so that we can make sure that they get credit for the invite. Okay. So anyways, guys, with that stated, here's the bonus thing. What was I going to say? I was going to give y'all a bonus. Oh, here's a cool way to create awesome partnerships too. So let's say, for example, you know someone that does events in your market, but they haven't invited you to speak. Well, What we have to learn how to do, guys, humility is a whole nother situation. I'm telling you guys, it takes a certain type of person to be like, you know what? They ain't invite me, but I'm going to invite them. Now, a lot of times, guys, when I want to get on certain platforms or want to be a part of certain events, I already know how to position myself to really get the invite. I know you have a big event. In fact, I'll give you an example. It's a young lady that's doing an event that's coming up for next weekend. Not this weekend coming, but weekend after next. Huge event, very, very niched event as well. I love it. And I knew I wanted to speak at the event. So I was doing an opportunity where it was an opportunity for exposure because in Book Profits Club, that's what we do. We work on getting you guys exposure. We help getting you articles. We help getting you on podcasts, getting you on stages, right? And so I put her in an article. And guess what, y'all? She invited me to be one of her speakers. I also had another workshop a couple of weeks ago, right? It's another young lady who does events and has her own space. I knew that and I wanted to build a relationship. So I invited her to come and speak at my workshop at no cost. She has an event space. So she's bringing something to the table. And so guess what? Now, I didn't provide her with all of the resources that I provided with my other partnered speakers, like leads and recording of the talk and all that stuff, but she did get a chance to speak. In exchange, she wants to do more work. She's offering me her space for free. Hello? What? So sometimes, guys, finding other people who are already doing events and inviting them to come speak, even if it's for a few minutes, can open up doors of opportunity. So again, guys, go to www.iloveafreegift.com. I hope this training was of value. Guys, get out there and do those events. I'm going to tell you this, y'all. Ain't nobody going to call you and ask you if you're doing an event. You got to go do the event. You don't, and oh, please don't put out there on a website, on a Facebook, if I did an event on October the 25th, would y'all come? No. Just set up the date, just like you do for your birthday, just like you do for your anniversary, your special trips. Set the date and you start inviting, okay? All right, you guys. Well, that's all that I have for now. I pray that y'all have a wonderful day. Pray that your day is full of peace, prosperity, and happiness, and everything in between. Deuces, y'all. Bye, guys. And of course, my camera is doing the Apple thing. That's why it's frozen. Okay. Bye, y'all.